If we do not pay attention to something, it dies. If we have a plant and we don't water our plant, it dies. If we have a business and we don't pay attention to our business, it dies. If we are a salesman and we are not out there selling whatever our product is, we go broke. If we don't pay attention to how we eat and moving our bodies and doing all the stuff, we become extremely heavy and unhealthy. The exact same thing is happening with your money. If you are not paying attention to how money is flowing through your system, it is going to stop. You are not going to create wealth. You are going to stay in the same situation that you've always been in. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. All right, today let's talk about paying back loans. This is a new year. Don't be stealing the peas and pay attention to your money. So let's talk about what's happened lately. I have had a number, I'm going to say 3 to 5 people in the last couple of months that have been clients for a long time. 5, 6, 7, 8 years. They've been clients for a long time. But these particular clients are not going to hear this podcast unless I send it to them because they are not listening to things. They are not keeping up on the facts of what they have and what they're doing and all that good stuff. Even though we reach out to our clients, even though we are here for our clients, whenever they want to talk to me, clients are free to talk to me. But I have had this consistent question, and it is always, I don't want to pay back my loan. So if I don't want to pay back my loan, that's okay, right? And I always say, and these are people that are not retirement age, okay? These are people that have a lot of income still coming in, and they can be paying back their loan. And I always say, yes, absolutely. You do not have to pay the loan, but at least pay the loan interest because that compounds from year to year. So if you guys don't know that, go find one of my other podcasts where I talk about loan interest. And I think I did it just recently, either here or on Farming Without the Bank. And so I said, pay the interest only. And they say, why do I have to pay interest? Because it's not free money. What do you mean, why do you have to pay interest? Well, I thought it just came off my death benefit. It does just come off your death benefit. Absolutely. But every single year that you have a loan, the insurance company charges you interest. So thinking that the insurance company does not charge you interest is like saying, oh, the bank is only going to charge me interest one time, and then I'm never going to have to pay interest again, even though I have a loan with them. A bank loan and a life insurance company loan is not any different. They both have interest charged. And so then the response is, well, if I have to pay interest all the time, why would I take a loan from the policy? Because you're earning interest on the money in the policy. Think about this. And this is a misconception. I am very clear with my clients about interest. Very clear. But it is obviously lost if you're not constantly looking at what's happening, right? Nelson says, use it or lose it. And if you're not using it, if you're not paying attention to it, if you're not surrounding yourself with people that are doing it, you are losing it. And so if we take a loan, if we borrow against our life insurance policy, we have to pay interest. The insurance company had to sell off some of their assets in order to give you the loan, to lend you the money. They left your money in the account earning interest. So their money is not in the investment of a bond or real estate or whatever it was in, okay? It is not in the general fund earning an interest rate. So if they have to pay you a guaranteed by contract interest rate, how are they supposed to do that if they're losing money because they gave you an interest-free loan? Think about it. They can't do both of those things and still be a viable company. They're not going to be able to pay claims. They're going to go bankrupt. Nelson talks about all of this in the book. He talks about use it or lose it. Pay attention to what you have. He talks about the grocery store and not stealing the peas. Pay back the interest that the insurance company charges you and then some. Nelson actually wants you to pay more interest. But we can't even pay the interest the insurance company is charging us because we look at that and say, oh my gosh, that's not okay. If that's not okay, then we don't understand what Nelson was talking about in the book when he talks about the problem. The problem is how we think about money. We are not thinking about utilizing money correctly. So we have to go back to the basics. And what are the basics? It's either my book, and I recommend this book. Buy the dang book and then read it. And read it once a year. Read it once every 6 months. Study the book. Here's the thing, my friends. If we do not pay attention to something, it dies. If we have a plant and we don't water our plant, it dies. If we have a business and we don't pay attention to our business, it dies. If we are a salesman and we are not out there selling whatever our product is, we go broke. If we don't pay attention to how we eat and moving our bodies and doing all the stuff, we become extremely heavy and unhealthy. We need to pay attention to things. If we don't change the oil on our car and we don't put gas in our car, if we don't pay attention to the gas gauge, it's going to stop, right? The exact same thing is happening with your money. If you are not paying attention to how money is flowing through your system, it is going to stop. You are not going to create wealth. You are going to stay in the same situation that you've always been in. Now, I understand some things are more important to people than other things. I prefer to sit down and talk about money instead of getting on the treadmill. Okay, let's be honest. I freaking hate it. So I tend to not pay as much attention to that. I know I have to, and I force myself to, but it's not as fun. So we want to put our attention to what's fun. That might be going on vacation with our family, but we can't do that if we don't have money. That might be taking our kids to games and softball and basketball and all the things, but we can't do that without money. Everything revolves around money. We don't have to be a psychopath about it. We just have to understand how it works. And then we have to hang out with people that understand how it works. And we have to keep reminding ourselves how it works because we were never taught how it works. And then we were taught to put our money in a 401k and an IRA. And that we don't question. We don't question, why did the market drop and I lose money? No. But we're going to question why the insurance company charges us interest. People, we may have our agendas screwed up. I didn't expect to get quite this passionate about this because I'm not yelling at anybody here. The intent is not to yell. It's just the German passion is coming out. Everything in our life revolves around money. And this is such a foreign concept that if we are not constantly feeding our brain and talking to people and paying attention to stuff, we're going to lose it. I don't do these podcasts because I'm bored. I do 2 of these a week. It is a lot with everything else that I do. I don't have rental properties because I love them. Okay. I'm finding out actually that I don't love them. But I have them for cash flow purposes. I'm going to pay attention to that industry long enough that I can create some cash flow. I can create some equity. I can sell some stuff. I can move up in the world financially by doing some of these other things. But I have to pay attention to how money works in order to get to the next level. If we want to disregard that, then go ahead and disregard it. But don't complain that we're where we're at. If you want to have a policy and you don't want to pay attention to it, it's not going to work like it's supposed to work. I have clients that have one policy and they can barely handle that. And then I have clients that have 6, 7, 8 policies because they are constantly listening. They're constantly educating themselves and reminding themselves why they have the policy. Here's the thing. If we borrow the money, we have our lifetime to pay it back, our lifetime. And then once it's paid back, we get to borrow it again for something else that we need. As long as we have this excess cash flow, why not pay it back? I said to one of my clients, she wanted to borrow the cash value to pay off her vehicle. Great, fantastic. I said, so then your vehicle's paid off to the bank. Yep. I said, how much were you paying a month? I don't know, $600 a month or something. I said, okay. So if you don't pay that back to the life insurance policy, what are you going to do with it? Spend it. Exactly. You are going to spend it on what? Golfing? Vacations? Like, where is it going to go? And you're going to have nothing to show for it. Why wouldn't you just pay it back? And then when you need to go on vacation, borrow it again. And then pay it back. I said, if you put your vacation on a credit card, are you going to pay the credit card company? Yeah. Then why not pay the life insurance company? In a lot of these cases, I feel like I have not done my job correctly. And I have to remind myself that I have provided all of these podcasts. I have provided access to me. There's the book. There's Nelson's book. All these things that we can continue to read, but we want it one and done. And it is not that simple. I don't get to exercise one time and be skinny. I wish that I did. I don't get to fill my gas tank one time and never have to fill it again. I wish I could, right? Because I really hate filling gas. It's a waste of time. I don't know how people charge their vehicles. What are you going to do? Sit there for 20 minutes and do what? Holy moly. Lose my mind. 20 minutes? You don't get to do something one time, right? You don't get to buy one rental property and be wealthy. You have to buy multiple rental properties. You don't get to manage your rental property one time and be done. You don't get to have one Airbnb guest and be done. You don't get to have one client in your business and be done. You don't get to learn about marketing one time and use that same marketing plan the rest of your life. Nothing happens one time except death. Death, you can only die one time. You have to pay attention to your stuff. And paying back loans has to be done. Just pay attention to it. Use it or lose it. Surround yourself with people. Call us. Talk to us. Attend webinars. Client webinars. Attend client conferences. There's something to be learned so that we can move up in life. You know, I am not a huge Dave Ramsey fan. He is a great business mind. I don't love his whole take on investments, but I heard him say this yesterday or the day before, and he was talking about if you are not going to do a budget and you are not going to pay attention to your money, expect to stay where you're at. And he is 100% right. He is 100% right. There are more things that I agree with Dave than I disagree with, in fact. And I think that speaks for the infinite banking community in general. There is more that we agree with than disagree with. We disagree on one thing, and that is investments and where to put your money. Outside of that, he is doing everything else that we agree with. Even he understands that you are going to stay where you're at if you do not pay attention to something. It's really quite that simple. Okay, there's my rant for the day. I didn't expect that to be a rant, but really, really participate in your finances and you will see that your financial future grows instead of it all staying the same. Get the book, educate yourself, schedule an appointment so that I can help you set everything up correctly. I can walk you through it because once you're a client, you have access to me. You have access to John. You have access to my staff. No additional charge. You have access to us so we can help you. And we're going to watch you grow. That is part of the plan. If this is the year that you are deciding things are going to change, grab the book, read it, schedule your appointment. Let's talk. If we can help you, we would love to help you. If we can't help you, we'll get you on the right path so we can help you later. All right, you guys, you have a fantastic rest of your day. Go grab the books.